how you start, it's how you finish. You must acknowledge Governor Sakaja Arthur Johnson for concluding that stadium, which we shall use in memory of the gallant warriors. We recently concluded and opened Uhuru Sports Complex in Kariobangi South. Honorable Mbatia, thank you. And in commissioning Uhuru Sports Complex in Uhuru, we acknowledge number one, Honorable Norman Nyaga of Kamkunji, Honorable Simon Mbugwa of Kamkunji, because that time it was in Kamkunji. They helped us secure it. We also acknowledged Honorable Yusuf, who played his role at a point. We acknowledged former councillors, Honorable Mbatia, the former governor. Because if it was not for all of those, and that's why I tell you, leadership is not an event, it's a process, it's successive. Leadership is partnership. Today, I'm already seeing a lot of revenue coming in from those two stadia. Members, Mwiki Sports Complex is at 95%. Is Honorable Kago around? Thank you. Is that true or false? True, thank you. Of course, you can't say anything else, but thank you for accepting. Mwiki Sports Complex. We had some delays in Joka Denge City Stadium in Makongeni. The contractors are on site. They're back working with speed and alacrity. The same is the story of Woodley Stadium in Kibra constituency. The contractors on site, the works are underway. I would really want us to also find a good name for the Woodley Stadium, that we can also name it instead of the Mzungu's name of Woodley. We can find a good name for that stadium, just as we were renaming City Stadium to Joe Kadenge Stadium. Joe Kadenge was a gallant footballer. He was a hero of our times. He played for the team which I have been patron, AFC Leopards, Ingwe. So in as much as that is Gor Mahia's home ground, please allow the name of Joka Denge to go up, as has been passed by this county assembly. We intend to move to the next ground of stadium grounds. Pandipieri in Githurai. Githurai were the winners of the Super Cup last year. Mukuru grounds in Embakasi South, who were the runners-up. Where's Honorable Mudhoni? I cannot, there she is. Thank you so much. Mukuru Kwanjenga. Kwa Ruben, yes. Kiumbuini grounds in Kangemi, Honorable Malaya. Durarua grounds in Dagoretti South. Is that Njogu or is it Kiogora? One of the two. Umeme grounds in Ziwani, where is Mheshimiwa Mrefu, where we have Kothbiro. From 1979, we have religiously played Kothbiro in those grounds. And the nature of that ground is that that tournament cannot be moved to any other part of the city. Hamza grounds in Makadara need to be looked at. Calvary in Embakasi Central. Majimbo grounds in Makongeni. Kahawa West in Roysambu, amongst others. Members, we intend to restore and manage Camp Toyoyo in Makadara, which has fallen into great disrepair in recent years. The land belongs to the county. The work was done by the CDF. The maintenance will revert to the county government. We shall allocate a budget to put the turf back, and I'm sure Chairman, you will help us do that, and the leader of majority. I think all of you who have come from that part of the city know the significance of Camp Toyoyo. And of course, I must congratulate and remember Honorable Bena, who was our speaker here, for the work he did as an MP of the area. Let me also mention, members, I am close to finishing, both the Nairobi Festival and the Battle of the Choirs, whose recent second edition was so memorable. As with sports, these and other cultural events teach our children and young people virtues that will stand them in good stead for citizenship and service to their communities. We believe that the creative economy has a huge potential of being a lucrative economic frontier for our youth. Nairobi is a hotbed of talent. You only need to take a stroll in the CBD on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon to see scores of young people taking photos and shooting videos since I lifted the ban a year or so ago. We will soon acquire, it's also in the high seas, our first mobile recording studio for our musicians and choirs. This mobile recording studio on a 40-foot container will move constituency to constituency, ward to ward, so that our musicians, our young people, our choirs can be able to record their art. We have also made proposals that will be coming to you to have 17 recording studios in each and every constituency for our budding musicians to access, either in our social halls or in our sub-county administrative offices. Mr. Speaker, when Nairobians gave us the honor of leading this county, many asked for better facilities for our hustling traders. Indeed, some of you have been talking to me about this matter since I was your senator. The need for proper and accessible business operating premises is real. Nairobi is full of energetic people who want to work and improve their lives. Again, we also need to decongest the central business district, so distributing markets outside is essential. These are very important catchment area for our traders. And that is why we're building these markets outside the CBD and on important routes so that we can make the most of these opportunities. A few weeks ago, as I mentioned just now, I broke ground for Mutwini market, which is going to cost us 244 million. It will be done. That's only one representative market of those that we're building in the next few months and years. We promise to deliver markets to the people of Nairobi. We will deliver. We are building Jujo market in Mihango. Current market, already procurement process is about to be concluded. Mheshimiwa Anthony. Kahawa West, Mheshimiwa Dr. Clement. You know where we are with that. Hospital Hill, Madari. We're building the Raila Odinga market. What was Toy market. We're building the Riruta market. We're building Jiru, Gumba in Madare, and Karubangi North markets. Uhuru market as well, in along Jogo Road. Construction of 4 is ongoing and beginning this financial year. Mutwini has started. The next 3 should include Karen, Jujo, and the Uhuru market. And the rest, just after June, when we get into July, we shall continue. I'm very grateful that the national government has offered to pick up 10 of our markets. And so Maji Mazuri is on course. Ruiru market, rather Ruai market is also on course, and many others. But just as we're decentralizing markets from the CBD, we're also moving public services out and bringing them to your neighborhoods. Look, we can all remember how stressful it was to get basic public services. I know we've all been there, going from one office to another office in the CBD, wondering where help would come. There are few things more annoying than not getting the services your taxes have paid for. It had to end. Following extensive public participation, my administration has identified 6 proposed boroughs in the county of Nairobi to which we intend to devolve our services. Nairobi North, Nairobi East, Nairobi South, Nairobi West, Nairobi Central, and Nairobi Southeast. We have commenced the construction of Southern and Northern Borough offices in Kibra constituency and in Kasarani, respectively. We have identified sites for the construction of the other 4, which will commence in subsequent financial years. Allow me to thank you for participating in the public participation processes and also our members of National Assembly, because they also had a session and they came and gave their ideas. There were historical issues. The Dagoretis, for instance, did not want to be separated. You know, there were issues with Kibra and Nangata. There were issues of Kasarani and Roysambu, and Embakasi South and Embakasi East and Makadara. All of those have been taken into consideration, and the report should be with the county assembly. In the sub-counties, we are working to complete the stalled offices for Westlands, Kasarani, and Makadara sub-counties. We have also embarked on the phased improvement of ward offices to bring services closer to our people. Having improved the conditions under which our staff work, it is essential to help them to serve you better. We cannot expect our staff to give dignity to our people when they're working in undignified working environments. And that is why the first improvements done within the CBD, within City Hall, were at City Hall Annex. From 1983, when City Hall Annex was constructed, there had never been any improvement. I invite you to visit it. And if you have not been there in a while, you might get lost. City Hall Annex today stands as a state-of-the-art representation of who Nairobi is. Every Nairobian who needs a service now has to get it promptly and fairly. I have asked each and every sector, and I know they are working on the standard operating procedures and service level agreements of how long it must take to respond to a citizen of Nairobi. We do not need the situation where you must know somebody to push your file or to actually get you responded to. Many of you have endured the frustration of delay and denial of service. These innovations and use of technology are designed quite directly to end those frustrations. What is our vision? A people without a vision will perish. We must always remember what we're trying to achieve. When you wake up every day, when you leave your families, when you leave your homes, what are we working towards? A few days ago, I was asked about my early memories of Nairobi. We grew up in a city that was orderly. We grew up in a city where there was community because neighbors knew and cared for each other. We grew up in a city which public services worked. The quality of municipal governance made our family life possible, and we were grateful. Nairobians want a city of order, dignity, of hope, and of opportunity. A city where everybody knows and obeys the rules, where no one is subjected to indignity and humiliation. A city of hope and of opportunity for all. That is the county I desire. And I know that is the county that you want and that the people of Nairobi desire. As leaders, we are responsible for achieving it. Tom Joseph Mboya said, there are no supermen who are going to come. It is upon us to change our county. I ask you once again, members, to rededicate yourselves to making Nairobi that green city under the sun. We expect that this plan will guide our city's journey as we look towards the future into all sorts of exciting ways that yet keep faith with the vision that we have, the vision that we share, that will expand infrastructure and service networks within the city. Members, and especially the Committee on Planning, as you consider, Mheshimiwa Palapala, new development guidelines and land use plans for the city that are before this assembly. We brought this before the assembly. Members, we must appreciate the global urbanization trends. We have had a lot of commentary out there about statements that we have made and that we stand by of where the city is going. By the year 2050, which is less than 28 years from now, Nairobi will have at least 10.5 million inhabitants. The SDGs recognize that 65% of the world's population is going to be in urban centers. To avoid urban sprawl, which you have seen in many parts of the world, and its negative concomitant effects, we must rethink and redesign many of our neighborhoods. Our city is 696 square kilometers. It will not expand. We must use the available technology of building to ensure sustainable housing, even as we raise height restrictions in different parts of the city. The city will not expand. We shall not have urban sprawl. Densification is the way to go. We can only go up. However, members, the process of reviewing of these plans, which brings together our urban planners, our resident associations, other professionals, must take these facts into considerations. The provision of water and sanitation remains a key consideration. I am grateful to our development partners who have actually committed billions of shillings to expand our sewer networks, to expand our water networks, and to expand that necessary infrastructure. Let no one imagine that we will just issue a blank check for uncontrolled development before the infrastructure that is required to go hand in hand with it. But we must start socializing ourselves that the 1976 urban master plan of a city of 1 million people cannot hold in 2024 for a city that is looking to the future. We must ensure there is provision of green spaces in every building plan considered, and I am sure that that will be incorporated in the guidelines before you. Strict adherence to development control guidelines, plot ratios, ground clearance, as well as provisions of social amenities in healthcare, in education, in recreation, and in mobility. Traffic assessments must be done. I am grateful to the government of the United States of America, who have committed to us $60 million, which currently translates to around 8 billion shillings through the Millennium Challenge Corporation to finance our land use and mobility planning, as well as our infrastructural development, including part of the buses for the BRT, in a threshold program that will cover the next few months. Additionally, that will lead to what we call a compact program, which goes above the tune of $700 million. I will be joining His Excellency the President in a state visit to the United States of America on invitation of the government of the United States to make sure that you, the leaders of Nairobi, who represent the people of Nairobi, are able to follow this development that's coming to our city, and that the people of Nairobi are able to benefit from it. As leaders of this county, because we had the new plan. The new plan provided a framework for detailed planning of the city. After the new plan, there was supposed to be local area plans for each and every area. During the time of the NMS, they advertised for different plans. I remember Airport North, Woodley. It never happened. And we said, instead of piecemeal plans, this MCC support of $60 million can help enable us, on the foundation of new plan, to actually do the Nairobi Urban Master Plan moving forward. As leaders of this county, we need not just look at the day-to-day running of the city or the quarterly plans, but also Nairobi of the future. Just as those who made the last master plan of the city in the 70s, they had a vision for the city decades hence. We too now must plan today for the Nairobi our grandchildren will inherit. The future will not plan itself. It is for you to plan and to look at it. And that is why this year we are going to consult widely. We are soon gazetting the Nairobi Vision 2050 Task Force that will create a comprehensive new development plan for our city, building on the steps and the foundations I have mentioned. I ask you members to be part of that process. We'll have our resident associations part of that process. We'll have our engineers, our architects. We'll have urban economists. We'll have all the sectors, our traders, our market people, public transport operators, the matatu people. All of them will come and participate in this year-long process of Nairobi Vision 2050. When President Mwai Kibaki spoke about 2030 in the year 2002, people thought it was a long way ahead. It was 28 or so years ahead of that time. The year 2050 is about the same period of time from now. We must start now. And thereafter, every decade plan, every CIDP, every annual plan, every flagship project shall build into that city, that global hub that God has blessed us with a gift of location, that from Nairobi you can be in New York in 13 hours, that from Nairobi you can be in Dubai in 5 hours, you can be in Amsterdam in 8 hours, you can be in London in 8 hours. In fact, it's always strange. You can go to New York in 13, but you come back in 11. And I thought it's because it is downhill. But there's a good explanation. Because of the rotation of the earth. Somebody said the pilot just steps on the clutch and they go down from New York to Nairobi. But we cannot have a situation where you're here in the center of the world and get stuck in traffic for 4 hours. We must take advantage of a global capital, the only one in the world, where you can be sitting looking at animals in their natural, unspoiled, untouched habitat. And in the background is the skyline of a capital city. It's only Nairobi. We can only take advantage of that if we plan the future. So members, I ask you to support Nairobi 2050. So this great historic city of great consequence, many of you may not know the building you're in was once the tallest building in East Africa from 1935 because of the clock tower. But Nairobi then also got the first Commonwealth Charter in the world given by the Prince of the Duke of Gloucester. We have such a rich heritage that Africans then were not allowed in this building. And only those who could be allowed to come in at the then gallery, or those who owned land. Our fathers were heroes of the past. You are the architects of the future. Members, I ask you to give me your support. For if we work together, then this city, in the words in Jeremiah 33:9, will be the city that brings God renown, joy, praise, and honor before all nations on earth that will hear of all the good things the Lord has done for it. And they will be awed by its prosperity and peace. To our Muslim brothers and sisters, during this last special 10 days of Lailatul Qadr, I ask you to pray for Nairobi and to pray for Kenya, for God's peace, protection, and prosperity. Saum Makbul, and I wish you a happy Eid al-Fitr. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, the people of Nairobi, God bless you all. God bless Nairobi. God bless Kenya. Lazima iwak. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Section 32J of the County Governments Act, I hereby submit to the County Assembly the annual report on the implementation status of county policies and plans, as well as the address that I have given for subsequent debate by the House. Asante sana.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Governor. Indeed, Governor, you have set the standard. And for those who are eyeing the seat, maybe in 2027, we'll have to really try and adjust to fit. Honorable members, our standing order number 27.4 provides, and I quote, whenever the governor delivers an address, a member may, as soon as provided practicable, thereafter lay the address on the table of the county assembly following the reading of such address. I therefore now call upon the leader of the majority party, Honorable Jateso Peter Imatok, MCA, to lay the address by His Excellency the Governor on the table of the county assembly and give notice of the motion contemplated in the standing order 27.5. Clerk, kindly assist the Honorable Majority Leader to lay. Honorable Majority Leader, you want to confirm the speech?
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, One Ken Ngundi, His Excellency the Governor of the Capital